again, like some of this is just the essence of college basketball, right? Like I don't want to like overanalyze too much here because they did just beat Florida in a very impressive win. You turn around, you see an unranked Georgia team. Like this is a tale as old as time in college basketball. But I'll just ask it this way: in terms of the way it unfolded, the margin, any reason for you to be concerned, or is this just a Tuesday night on the road in college basketball in the SEC?
Well, I do think they're a team that's super reliant on the three ball, but I thought what won them the game the other day against Florida was Andrew Carr and Amari Williams. Like when Amari Williams is good, Kentucky plays at another level. And he's kind of been a little inconsistent. He has struggled to finish in some games, and I thought that's where Georgia really controlled the interior tonight. Like Jeff talked about the size and activity of their bigs. They took Amari totally out of the game, and when their shots aren't falling, him and Andrew Carr have to be able to give them something to keep them going until those guards can get going, and they don't really have a lot of like breakdown type guards to get in the paint, so they have to do it through guys like Amari and Andrew, and I that if anything was concerning, it was that those guys didn't elevate themselves and figure out a way to keep their team in the game when shots weren't falling.
Yeah. And then one more SEC note before we get to the rest of the happenings tonight. We're going to have a new number one officially. I know Jeff mentioned it. CJ mentioned it. They recognize the different number one anyways. It seems like it will be all but official. They do hold on. It got a little interesting there at the end against Texas, but Auburn does hold on for the win on the road in Austin. Auburn's going to be the new number one. Tyler, and I'll just ask you, man, because it just feels like in college basketball, when you have a big like Janai Broome, there really aren't – I don't really know how you attack that. I don't know how you counter that. Just how good is this Auburn team and how much of it is due to Broome?
Well, obviously he's a National Player of the Year candidate, so he would be a majority of their picture. But across the board, this team has size, length. They have a lot of different options. Their style of play up and down I think is very beneficial. I like that style. They don't just rely on the three ball all the time. Defensively, they're a tough team. And also they have rim protectors. They have, what's the guy's, Cardwell. The Cardwell kid, to me, even though he doesn't put up a ton of points, he's one of those guys that really buys into his role. And it's unbelievable when coaches convince kids like this in college, hey, you know what? We don't really need you to score. We need you to protect the paint, be a physical defender, and also get every rebound and dominate inside. And, you know, not a lot of kids know that, listen, there's much more to basketball than playing and scoring points. I think that there's too much emphasis on scoring in basketball in general. And when you have kids like him that really buy into it, it really makes your team, guys play their roles, and it really helps the team, in my opinion.
Jeff, just your thoughts on the new number one.
I mean, listen, anytime you get a road win, and it's not a new number one for me because, like CJ said, I've had Auburn number one.
Well, it's just everything's not about you all the damn time. I mean, there's a process.
Right now it is. All right. And you skipped over me about Kentucky. I mean, come on. We got Bigfoot bearing down on you here. And you skipped me on Kentucky.
I wish we had an HR department. We don't. I would have filed 15 complaints.
You do. You're looking at him. Right now.
Yeah. This is an authoritarianism. Go ahead. Get off what you need to get off.
Well, I'll transition from Auburn's road win against Texas and how impressive it was, and shows their kind of mental toughness. And that's what I question about Kentucky right now, to be honest. As much as anything, can they win on the road? I think they go. Do they go to Starkville next? Mississippi State? I think so. And I think at some point, they don't have a lot of alpha dogs. I think their alpha dog is actually Kerr Kriisa in terms of being vocal. And Kerr's still got a boot in his foot. He's coming back no time soon, guys. Okay? So they're going to be without Kerr Kriisa, and they need him on the road. At home, they're fine. You got Rupp. It's friendly. You got all those Big Blue Nation lunatics. They're only probably 5-10% of them in the building tonight in Athens. So I think that's the problem. That's my biggest concern right now is you got a lot of quiet dudes, including Lamont Butler, who play well. And I just wonder whether they're going to be able to turn it on the road, and they're going to need one here soon. Somebody's got to step up and get out of their comfort zone and either be an MFer like Tyler was. Tyler was not vocal at all, but he was an MFer, so his actions dictated the toughness and that type of attitude. Mm-hmm. Kentucky's shown nothing in their attitude or their voice.
Yeah. Well, in the YouTube comments, they're going to say Jeff Goodman took a question about Auburn and made it about Kentucky. That's what they're going to say. And they're going to be 100% right, by the way. They're going to be justified in that comment, just so you know. I did ask about Auburn. Auburn fans, you saw it, right? You saw me ask about Auburn. But yes, I think just it's a foregone conclusion they'd be number one anyway. So I certainly